Hello, I'm Ron Clark. I'm Director of Public Affairs and Guest Relations at Brigham Young University, a capacity that I've held for the past 28 years. Something that I love, something that I enjoy doing, and especially meeting and bringing new and interesting people into my life. One of the great things and one of the great principles of career development is networking. It's important for you to start networking right now with people in your immediate community, where you live, where you're from, and start thinking right now, right after this class, you start writing down things about home, in the banking community, people that your father knows, people that your mother knows, people that your aunt or uncle know, people within the ward who have an affiliation with something that just might help you down the road in your achievement for some success. Now, that's not to tell you, I say to them, that you're to use them. There's a difference in networking and being a user. I'm very familiar with users. In show business, when I was working in my particular assignments dealing with people, I identified immediately with the people and the phone calls and the letters and the people who came to my office and the people who came up to me at a dinner table, because of my association with people that they admired and adored and they wanted to be next to. I could tell in 5 words if I was being networked or if I was being used. You network with people in a kindly, open, and honest manner. They can write a letter to someone and actually say in the first paragraph, I have been given the opportunity to network with people that I know and hopefully plan out some type of an internship where I can benefit in my schooling and in my professional life for my future years. I have been thinking of you, and I'm wondering if I might be able to phone you sometime and talk about a potential opportunity of doing an internship with you in your organization or your firm. Be open and honest with them, kind, but to the point, and actually let them know your intentions. That is not using. They understand the process of networking, and they're going to welcome that kind of integrity, that type of open honesty. And you can do that with any number of people at once. Much of our communication now, we're cheating ourselves a little bit because we're addressing a multitude of people all at once. We claim to have 1,000 friends on Facebook, and we're saying the same message to each and every one of them with no individuality. And gone is the feeling of one-on-one communication and feeling, actually being there to rejoice at someone's news or to commiserate with them for just a little while and say, I'm so sorry, I'm here for you, I'm your friend, I'm your buddy, I believe in you. It's all done through space. And we're losing so much of the identity, the individual identity in relationships. It's electronic emotion. Emotion does not dwell in a computer, doesn't dwell in an iPhone. Sincerity cannot be felt that way. Honesty cannot be felt. Even an awkward use of words and phrases one-on-one that brings out the true nature or who we are and what we are is lost. I can't sit across the table and text somebody while they're eating and hope that they'll read it 5 minutes from now. I want to know about it now from them, in their tone of voice. I want to sense how they feel about it. You build friendships through networking. And a lot of those friendships you keep enjoying for years and years. I think it's best just to walk in and say, my goodness, it's just wonderful to be here. This is wonderful food. The food and the drink looks exciting, and the people look even more exciting. That captures somebody's attention that is also standing at that table. And it's very easy for me at that point to go over, to extend my hand, to bring that hand into me, and to put my hand on the back of their elbow and bring them in. And I want to be just as relaxed as I possibly can be. I don't want to be uptight. There's nothing to be uptight about. They're people. And they have the same basic apprehension that you do, and the same awkwardness. And as long as you're the one that's willing to break that ice and walk in and make a comment, make an observation, and then go to, even if it's a principle, you stick your hand out, you bring them in. It's a gesture of warmth and sincerity and friendship. I love it when people do that to me. I just want to know that they feel comfortable in my presence enough to touch me. And I don't think we do enough of that. We're so limited and restricted anymore by some of that human contact to reach out and touch someone. There's too many do's and don'ts related to that today. And it crimps our style, it crimps our sincerity, it crimps it totally does away with the ability to be warm and kind and actually loving, natural, relaxed around somebody else. It makes them very, very awkward if you're uncomfortable. Then they spend time trying to make you comfortable and to have you feel at ease, because they know that they're certainly comfortable in your presence. And you want to take that, you want to disarm them from having to worry about that. And if you can speak in a nice, comfortable, lower tone of voice without a lot of aggression, just a couple of warm shakes of the hand and a pat on the back of that elbow, it does wonders to open so many doors. People recharge me because everyone has a wit. Every one of us has a wit. And if we can find what taps that wit and how we can have an exchange of just a little bit of craziness. I'll give you an example. We hosted at one time a survivor of one of the prominent families that came across on the Mayflower. And she was the secretary of the organization of Mayflower descendants. And she was out here doing research utilizing our records here at the university, our genealogical records. She asked for a tour of campus. She wanted to become better acquainted with Mormon thought. We go past the pre-Columbian ball, and people say, well, what is that? What does it mean? And I says, I thought you would know. That was a cannonball on the Mayflower. We have it right here on this campus. And she looked at me like I was smoking peyote. I said, yeah, it's true. It's a cannonball. It was a big cannon. But the Mayflower was a big ship. Well, the Mayflower was not a big ship. This thing would have sunk the Mayflower. But I rattled her just enough that it entertained me. And I laughed, and then she started laughing. And then she started digging me about other things. I guess you're going to tell me that this came over on the Mayflower. I guess you're going to tell me that my descendants knew this and this and this. I'll bet you're going to tell me that there was a Mormon on the Mayflower. I says, no, there wasn't any Mormon on the Mayflower. I thought you knew your history better than that. Before this woman left, we were knocking each other, one comment after another. That's the wit. You find that common denominator that can make you both laugh. Well, it's things like that that build that confidence. And the very first time you spend in their presence, you can have that, you can own that. You can own that friendship for the rest of your life. By the end of the day, we're hugging each other and we're looking in one another's eyes as real friends. And that's not an art. That's just something that I want. It's something that I need. It replenishes my cup because I've learned something about them that maybe somebody else in the embassy or somebody else in the academy or in the office where they work in D.C., they haven't found that yet, but we've been able to tap it during a moment of relaxation in the tops of the mountains where they've been able to kind of let down. I let down a lot in front of people, and I want them to let down in front of me. We're better at communicating when we're natural, when we're being ourselves and being absolutely sincere and honest about why we want to ask a question. I'll tell you, loving people is one of the greatest gifts we have on this earth. And so many of us are so busy, we don't take time to actually love. I have come to find out the important things of existing and coexisting, and people is the common denominator. I cherish every relationship that I have.